said, we're the sober students of the high school. And after the kids laughed, pockets, I looked at the kids who laughed and I said, you should be ashamed of yourself. And then I looked at this little girl and the only words that could come out of my mouth was, I wish. I wish I liked myself enough, man. I wish I was comfortable enough in my own skin to walk around my high school with a purple shirt. I wish I didn't hide behind booze and drugs. Little Christopher's 13 years old, Samantha's 10 years old, Drew's gonna be 4. I go to bed every night and I thank God for keeping me sober, and I pray to God that my kids can wear a purple shirt. That's all I want. I told your principal before, I spoke at Malloy College on Long Island, and this doctor took the stage before me and he said, last year the state of New York tested 3,000 kids between the age of 15 and 18 years old. 72% of them tested positive for weed. Right? Now here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. Out of those 72%, 52% tested positive for crystal meth. Crystal meth. I got you. No, I got you, my man. I heard you say what? It's a small room, tight. Now check it out. This is the scary piece, right? Here's the scary piece. 52% tested positive for crystal meth. This doctor who told this stat said it scared the lights out of the law enforcement community, so they started digging into it. What they found was when they raided a couple of places that were cooking crystal meth, these crystal meth people were dumping green NyQuil into their crystals. And then they were dunking their marijuana plants into the crystal and drying them out. So when kids were driving around in their car smoking blunts and hitting bongs, they had no idea that they were sucking on crystal meth. So think twice about what you're doing the next time you do it, because it could be crystal meth. 52% in the state of New York. The one most commonly asked question to me is, Mr. Herron, what about marijuana? What about alcohol? Gateway drug. Every place I go to. Guess what, right? I'm no doctor, but I'm gonna give you this just cold-blooded fact in this. I hung out with dope fiends and crackheads for 10 straight years. I was one. And I can tell you, I never met one that told me they started with heroin and crack cocaine. Every crackhead and every dope fiend you see on the street corners start in rooms like this, listening to people like me tell their story. They all start off with marijuana and booze. They all start off sneaking around their neighborhood, sneaking around their parents. And they end up with that. That's the stone cold facts. My high school basketball team, they wrote a book on us. There were 10 kids. 10 characters in Forever Dreams. Out of the 10 characters, I was a McDonald's All-American. I had another Division I basketball player. We had the cool crew. Handsome. Just kidding. We had the biggest parties. We had all the girls. We had a great time thinking we were the thing. Out of those 10 kids, our parents, lawyers, doctors, politicians, nurses, court officers, police officers, out of those 10 kids in that book, five became heroin addicts. One a crackhead, and another one's doing 5 to 7 years for bank robbery. Lawyers, doctors, politicians, accountants, court officers, police officers. That's our parents. What's your parents? Don't be like me and sit in a room like this and say, never be me. You'll wake up 10 years from now saying, yo, I remember that dude who came in here with a tie, light, hot, in front of me. He was right on the money. You guys need to know, honest to God, from the bottom of my heart, don't change who you are ever. Don't compromise yourself. Don't change who you are because you're perfect just the way you are. That's the facts. Trust that. Thank you.